smooth passenger traffic at the airport and high-speed rail station as Lunar New Year travelers set off early for their trips. Residents enjoy a warm weekend walk at Lunar New Year fair and shop for Valentine's Day bouquet at the flower market. And at the Munich Security Conference, top diplomats of China and the US outlined their own visions for the United Nations. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Cheryl Yun. With just days to go before Lunar New Year, some families have already set off on their holidays. At the airport and high-speed rail stations today, passenger traffic was generally smooth. Jeremy Zhu reports.
As the Year of the Horse approaches, immigration authorities estimate more than 10 million passenger movements across the borders, with today seeing a peak in departures. In the airport's departure hall, crowd control barriers and tapes were set up to guide travelers towards security checks. Frequent announcements reminded passengers to complete departure procedures promptly. This woman said her family arrived later than planned and worried about missing their flight. She added that their tickets cost around $2,000 more compared with Christmas. Another man said, judging by the crowds, many people were leaving today. He explained that with 8 or 9 consecutive days off, it was a good chance to travel abroad, adding that New Year visits to relatives could be postponed. Families were seen with large suitcases, with children eager to join in the effort. This young girl said she was heading to Tokyo for 5 days and 4 nights. Asked whether she preferred traveling or receiving red packets, she replied she liked both. This man traveling to Japan said expenses were manageable thanks to the favorable exchange rate. He noted he was not planning major purchases, mainly buying items for his children, and pointed out that some toys were cheaper in Japan than in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, at West Kowloon High-Speed Rail Station, many travelers are heading back to the mainland to reunite with their families. Long queues were seen at the ticket gates leading to the platforms. The high-speed rail operator has reminded passengers to allow extra time for security checks and boarding. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Today is Valentine's Day and the Mongkok flower market bustled with people looking for the perfect bouquet for their loved ones. Meanwhile, visitors wandered through the Lunar New Year fair in Victoria Park under the afternoon sun. Jamie Liu tells us more.
Roses are red and early birds are out of bed on Valentine's Day to browse through a sea of floral displays this morning. A man celebrating his first wedding anniversary this year decided on a 99-rose bouquet that fell within his budget, saying the more the merrier. As an annual ritual, another man buying flowers for his wife brought his son along for the journey. A lot of handsome guys come and buy flowers, said a florist who saw good business, as customers bought in bundles without having to get a bargain. However, another florist said sales this year took a slight hit because the day of romance fell just briefly before Chinese New Year. She said she used to offer walk-in bouquet wrapping on Valentine's Day, but this year she could only accept pre-orders due to huge demand from the two festivals. Also with flowers on sale is the Victoria Park Lunar New Year fair, as according to tradition, people decorate their homes with blooms and plants to usher in good fortune. Thanks to a sunny weather that warmed urban areas back to 25 degrees Celsius, the market grew more crowded in the afternoon. A boy cooled off with a candied strawberry skewer after shopping. To ring in the Year of the Horse, vendors got into a creative race to sell their equine-themed products, from coasters to plushies. A merchant selling Fai Chen, or calligraphy decorations, said their Everything's Dope banner, written in Cantonese and English, has made tourists curious. This year, there are a total of 14 fairs across Hong Kong Island, Kowloon and the New Territories, and they will open until February 17th. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
As the government is planning to amend regulations to allow dogs into restaurants, Environment Chief Tse Chin-wan said licensing will take into account the size and nature of each establishment. Jeremy Zhu has more details.
In the initial phase, the Environment and Ecology Bureau is preparing to issue between 500 and 10,000 licenses, permitting restaurants to welcome dogs. Speaking to iCable News, Tse explained that the size of premises will be considered to reduce risks of accidents or conflicts. He noted there is no precise standard yet. For example, some small cafes with open fronts may feel spacious, while compact cha-chan-tangs with closed doors are more confined. Tse stressed that discussions with the industry are needed before setting requirements. The Bureau is also considering limits on the number of dogs each customer may bring. As for allocating specific quotas by district, Tse said this may not be necessary since dog owners are spread across many areas, not only tourist spots like Tsim Sha Tsui or Sai Kung. If demand proves strong, the Bureau may expand licensing after 6 months. Should applications surge, a lottery system could be introduced, he added. Licenses will carry strict conditions, including a ban on preparing dog food in kitchens to avoid cross-contamination. Restaurants breaching rules 3 times within 12 months will lose permission to admit dogs. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Separately, the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department launched its first open recruitment for a new director, requiring political sensitivity and enforcement experience. Environmental Secretary Tse Chin-wan explained that these qualities would help modernize the department's broad remit, which involves public engagement, enforcement, and handling conflicts of interest. Meanwhile, with the Lunar New Year holiday approaching next week, Tse also announced strengthened management of country parks. This includes sending extra staff to clean facilities, managing public toilets, and installing large rubbish bins. Secretary for Education Christine Choi said the proposed practicing certificate regime for teachers, requiring renewal every 3 years, is essential for stronger management of the city's educators. She also noted that the government remains open to further adjusting the university quota for non-local students. Currently, around 160,000 people are on the registered teachers list, though only about 70,000 are actively teaching. Taking to the airwaves, Choi said the certificate would help improve teacher management, better track subject-specific staffing, and enable better targeted professional training. She described the change as timely and aligned with modern professional standards. The proposal also requires teachers to declare compliance with the Constitution, Basic Law, and National Security Law. Choi stressed this is not an oath, but a reminder that everyone must follow the law, and educators should show a particular clear commitment. The Education Bureau aims to introduce the amendment bill to the Legislative Council in June or July, targeting effect from the next academic year and full rollout within about 2 years. Separately, on university admissions, the cap on non-local students in publicly funded undergraduate programs has risen from 20% to 40% of local subsidized places this academic year. Choi said non-local enrollments now exceed 30,000 in the city, and some universities have already filled up their quota. She said the government would review the ceiling as needed, stressing that local student places remain protected, with 15,000 first-year subsidized undergraduate spots reserved exclusively for them each year. Police Chief Zhou Chao said the force is looking into questionable professional conduct by doctors or lawyers over a new crash for cash scam. Meanwhile, Chao also defended a $4 billion plan to have 60,000 cameras installed under a citywide surveillance program. Jamie Liu reports.
Recently, police have searched a law firm and separately arrested 4 people, including 2 doctors, for alleged links to a new form of scam where fraudsters would file bogus civil claims over traffic accidents. Speaking on a radio program, Chow said the probe, which involves about 100 cases, is now focused on whether professional conduct is in question, and he warned professionals not to engage in unethical practices. Speaking of efforts to combat scams, which made up nearly half of Hong Kong's crimes last year, Chow said the focus is now on investment-linked ones. The police commissioner added that the government aims to pass stricter laws on SIM card real name registration within this year. Meanwhile, police are seeking legislative approval for over $4 billion to install 60,000 CCTV cameras in the city by 2028. The commissioner said the force had already cut costs as far as possible, adding that the $4 billion request should not be seen as excessive if stronger surveillance helps make the city safer and more attractive to investors and tourists. Asked about the deadly Taipo fire, Chow revealed that the cross-departmental investigative team is almost done collecting statements but is still on forensic examinations. Regarding the 3 people charged with sedition offenses over the fire, Chow said the authorities would not allow insightful intentions to take root. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Foreign Minister Wang Yi and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio have laid out starkly different visions of the United Nations' role in global security at this year's Munich Security Conference. While Wang stressed that no one should destroy its pillars, Rubio slammed the UN Charter for basically having played no role in resolving global conflicts. Best Leung reports.
Taking the stage first at the conference on Saturday, Rubio defended straight border policies, calling them an exercise of national sovereignty, not exclusion. He said America must prioritize its citizens over the global order while urging reform and not abandonment of international institutions.
Well, the United Nations still has tremendous potential to be a tool for good in the world. But we cannot ignore that today, on the most pressing matters before us, it has no answers and has played virtually no role. It could not solve the war in Gaza. Instead, it was American leadership that freed captives from barbarians and brought about a fragile truce. It has not solved the war in Ukraine. It took American leadership in partnership with many of the countries here today just to bring the 2 sides to the table in search of a still elusive peace.
Right after Rubio, Wang took the floor, calling the UN's founding a historic choice forged from World War agonies. He hailed the UN-centered system as the world's vital shield against law of the jungle chaos, urging nations to cement its foundations, not destroy its pillar, with equal rights, opportunities, and rules for all states. Addressing questions from the floor, Wang sketched 2 U.S.-China paths: regional cooperation if America chooses pragmatism, or risky confrontation via decoupling, cliques against China, and Taiwan separatism. He warned both sides would suffer, but affirmed China's readiness for all scenarios. Best Leung, Cable News.
For Hong Kong pet owners, while they have to wait till the next Valentine's Day to take their furry lovers out for a sweet date in a restaurant, they don't have to wait to gift their pets, and may even get some idea from this London pet shop chain, which has seen a dramatic surge in pets' Valentine's gifts. Jeremy Zhu shares more.
At this pet supply store in London's Camden, Valentine's-themed merchandise for pets is on display, including delicious date-night treats, heart-shaped biscuits, grooming accessories, and themed bedding.
Well, I think that you can't resist little pink and red gifts for pets for Valentine's Day. He doesn't know, but he'll look really good in it.
The retailer has expanded its Valentine's range this year to include products for not only dogs and cats, but also small animals. Company data shows sales of pet Valentine's gifts has risen 158% year-on-year. With cat owners driving the biggest surge, spending on feline gifts is up by some 17-fold. Beyond gifts, the shop also provided special spa service for the occasion, which includes shampoo, conditioner, paw balm, facial, breath freshener, and a choice of bow tie or bandana, costing an additional £10 British. The store manager said the emotional bond between pets and owners fuels the Valentine's market.
We buy things for our animals because they're part of the family. You see the connection for many people. When I first moved to London, I adopted my cat Felicia, and she's my companion. And you know, if I can buy anything to show her what she means to me, I would, and so would many of our customers.
Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
On to the weather now. Cloudy periods and coastal fog in the morning and at night. Mainly fine and warm during the day. Temperatures will range between 19 and 26 degrees. That's our news tonight. I'm Cheryl Yun. Thanks for watching and good night.